The Belvedere, a five-star restaurant glimmering at the heart of the city, was known for its elegance and for its manager, Richard Kane, whose smile was as fake as the charm he used to hide his venom. To the public, he was a polished gentleman, but to his staff, especially the black ones, he was a walking humiliation in a tailored suit. Danielle Pierce walked into that world dressed in plain black, a waitress uniform that hid the truth. She wasn't broke. She wasn't desperate. She was the co-owner of a luxury event company and wife of Captain Marcus Hale, one of the city's most decorated police officers. But lately, her husband's department had fallen under investigation for drug trafficking, and the trail led straight to Richard's restaurant. So Danielle volunteered to blend in. For weeks, she scrubbed tables, carried trays, and smiled through Richard's racist jabs. You people are better at cleaning than serving, huh? She let him believe she was beneath him, just another woman surviving on tips and pity. But every insult, every illegal whisper, every backroom handoff between him and the men in suits, she recorded them all. Her patience became her weapon, her silence, her shield. And though Richard thought he'd broken another spirit, Danielle was building a case that would not only ruin him, it would save her husband's name. If you're loving how this is unfolding, hit that like button and subscribe. This story's just getting started. 2 months in, the act was wearing thin. Danielle Pierce, once a woman of boardrooms and banquets, now scrubbed lipstick stains off champagne flutes for a man who called her girl. Each night she returned home with her hair smelling of grease and her hands trembling from rage she had to swallow. Marcus, her husband, would hold her close and whisper, "You're almost there, baby. Just a little longer." But the investigation was closing in, not on Richard, but on Marcus. The media called him the dirty captain. Anonymous tips planted by Richard accused him of protecting dealers in exchange for cash. Danielle knew it was a lie. She'd seen the real criminals dining in suits at table 7, shaking hands with Richard after hours. Then came the breaking point. One evening, a wealthy guest joked that Danielle was too dark to be seen in fine dining. Instead of defending her, Richard laughed along, saying, "Relax, she's only here for the diversity photo." The room roared. Danielle froze. She looked at the faces around her, mockery, privilege, cruelty, and decided that was the last laugh they'd ever have. She whispered to herself, "You wanted a show, Richard. You'll get one." That night, as she washed dishes, she slipped a tiny flash drive into the back office computer, copying months of secret transactions. Her revenge had officially gone digital. If you're feeling that tension building, like and subscribe. Things are about to explode. The next morning, Richard Kane strutted into the Belvedere like a man untouchable. His restaurant was booming, the city adored him, and the scandal swallowing Marcus Hale had the media eating from his hand. He even bragged to reporters that his clean business was proof not all men in power were corrupt. But behind that polished grin, he had no clue that the very woman serving his coffee was the storm building to end him. Danielle had spent sleepless nights assembling evidence, every offshore transfer, every drug shipment disguised as imported wine, every coded email to fake suppliers. But she wasn't alone anymore. Someone had found her. Late one night, as she left the restaurant, a sleek black car pulled up beside her. The tinted window rolled down. "Mrs. Hale," a voice said. She froze. The man inside handed her a file stamped with federal seals. "Special Agent Monroe. We've been tracking Richard Kane for months. We know he framed your husband to cover his operation. We just didn't know you were this deep." Danielle looked him dead in the eye. "Then let's finish it together." From that night forward, every shift became a setup. Hidden cameras in the kitchen, microphones under wine racks, every smile a chess move. Richard thought he was dining with investors. He was dining with federal agents. The perfect sting was in motion. If you're loving this twist, drop a like and subscribe. The tables are about to turn in spectacular fashion. It was supposed to be the Belvedere's grandest night, the restaurant's 10-year anniversary. Cameras flashed, politicians toasted, and Richard Kane basked in the spotlight, shaking hands like a man who owned the city. He didn't notice Danielle's calm smile as she poured champagne for his guests. He didn't notice the faint red dot blinking under the chandelier. And he definitely didn't notice the black SUVs surrounding the block. At exactly 8:45 p.m., Richard raised his glass to give a speech about integrity and class. That was when the projector flickered on. The crowd turned. On the giant screen behind him, a video began to play. Grainy footage of Richard counting cash in the back office, signing off shipments labeled Italian truffle oil that were, in truth, boxes of narcotics. His voice echoed through the hall. "If the cops get close, I'll feed them Marcus Hale. Frame's already set." The crowd gasped, reporters lunged for their cameras, and as Richard turned in shock, the doors burst open. Commander Marcus Hale himself, flanked by federal agents. Richard's jaw locked. "You," Danielle cut him off, stepping forward in her waitress uniform one last time. "Dinner's over, Richard." The handcuffs clicked. The same cameras that once adored him now recorded his disgrace. Marcus wrapped his arm around Danielle, whispering, "You did it." Outside, flashes lit the night like fireworks. The headlines the next morning read, "Racist Restaurant Manager Exposed by Undercover Wife of Framed Officer." And as Danielle stood watching the sunrise, she smiled softly. "Some meals," she said, "are best served with justice." If you love this story, hit like and subscribe to Splendid Tales, where every downfall meets its poetic revenge. Tell me, which moment hit you the hardest, the humiliation or the revenge?